Hey, welcome back to another Monday's episode of NACA's American Dream Program, where we, NACA, is doing things that no other mortgage company is doing. Because what? NACA's relentless. We're helping people get homes like myself who have a 480 credit score, but able to get a 2.23 30-year fixed interest rate. So we have an awesome testimony. Ms. Casey Hayes, she's going to be here today, and her agent, Jerome Washington, he's back. Yes, he's back again. He's doing it again in the house, and he has this awesome testimony we want to share. But before we get started, we always like to go check and see what's going on in our main lady, Miss Anjanette out in Texas. What's going on out there? How's the weather? What's going on out there? Let us know. Uh-oh.
Hey, out there in NACA, welcome. And this is the NACA American Dream Program, where you can realize your potential of owning your own home. And we love it. We love it. We love it. It's a beautiful day, Damien. It's a beautiful day to be out shopping for that house, for that dream home in your neighborhood and in your areas. And of course, today, with the interest rate being a 2.125 for a 30-year fix and a 1.375 for a 15-year fix, you cannot go wrong. You can just poke me with the fork, because I am done. I am all done when you me a 2.125 on a 30-year interest rate. And so it is a beautiful day. We got a lot of amazing things going on. It is a wonderful day to be embarked upon our home save. We're still out there modifying it. You got to remember, we're still in the pandemic. We're still in the midst of a pandemic, and we're out there modifying the mortgages. That if you cannot afford to pay your current mortgage, regardless of whether it's what bank you're with, we still have our home save department that is working on loan modifications for those of those members that are in need. And if you're not a NACA member, still reach out to us, and you can reach out to our home save department at 425-602-6222. And for today's radio show, you can always reach us on our American Dream radio program, and our radio network show is 833-771-0500. That's 833-771-0500. We are streaming live on Facebook right now, so throwing up the hearts for everybody out there who took the time to join our call today and just listen to the great information that we are going to be sharing with you. As always, you can find us on all the social media platforms, not just Facebook. You can also find us on Instagram and Twitter, and you can always find up-to-date information on our website, which is www.naca.com. Damien, I heard we got Jerome back in the house again.
Man.
Jerome coming to tell you how to work with Jerome to own your home.
Jerome is the man, but now I don't know about y'all, but we out here in Galatians, so still seeing and looking for houses. So we got rain boots, water, everything. So it's really stormy here. So everybody just be careful wherever you are, because the weather's changing, water's going everywhere, raining everywhere. So make sure you be careful, leave extra time to get to where you need to be so you can get there safely. And remember, always just continue to mask up. But yes, we have Jerome back in the house. He has taken time to come and hang out, and he's brought an awesome testimony. When I tell you, this is Relentless Monday. Keep it going, keep it progressing Monday. We just keep on persevering Monday. And Miss Casey Hayes, we just want to just welcome you. Thank you for taking your time.
Welcome, Miss Hayes. All right. This is awesome. I can't wait to hear Jerome. I can't wait to hear this story. I heard it's an amazing one too. So I can't wait to hear who Miss Casey Hayes is, what she's doing, do she have a home? Talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Yes, we gotta bring on Casey Hayes, the queen of adversity, because every obstacle you think you have blocking your chances to get a mortgage, she has overcome it. So that's why today is Motivation Monday this time. So last time I was on, it was Multifamily Monday. It's Motivation Monday this time, because this is inspiring, because I don't care who's watching, whatever you have in your way, Casey Hayes is overcoming to be a homeowner.
Wow.
Everybody,
let's talk about it.
She's a homeowner now.
Wow.
So,
You ready to share that blessing, Miss Hayes? I'm ready to hear it. Everybody's ready to hear it.
And I'm dancing under my table. So if you hear a little pitter patter, that's my feet. Oh my gosh, I'm still dancing.
I love it. Well, tell us, what made you choose NACA? What brought you to the program?
Oh Lord. I actually started with NACA in 2013 when NACA came to Philadelphia for their 2-day event opening up. I had a good friend that I worked with. She knew my story. She knew, I had gone through a really bad divorce, left with lots of debt. I was responsible for the debt of the marriage, as well as 4 young children, 2 of which were very sick. One still is, he's 19 now, but at the time he was about 5 or 6 years old. But nevertheless, she gave me, in Philadelphia, there was a newspaper, and she gave me the newspaper, and on the back of that paper, the last page was an ad for NACA. So that's what we were saying. We don't know what NACA, but they're having this event down at the Philadelphia Convention Center. It was called Homeowner's Dream or something like that, a dream program.
Save the dream.
So, yes. So I took the day one, I took the morning off of work. I took a half a day and went to it, and I became so inspired. At the time, they had the bell where the people would come, and you had the Home Save program, and people are crying, and I was in the crowd crying, and I called into work and took the rest of the day off that first day and took the next day off, so I was there both days. And, oh gosh, it was just so inspiring for me because in going through a divorce, I lost my house. And I thought I could never, that was my dream house. See, the tears are coming already, Jerome, but I'm prepared. But I thought I would never be able to buy a house again because I was left with so much debt. And it was difficult being a single mom, but the debt, I didn't think I could surpass it. So that's how I started with NACA. On day 2, I went ahead and registered and sat in got my NACA ID. I got my NACA ID in 2013. So, and I began that journey.
Wow. And after you got your NACA ID, did you jump right into it, or did you hesitate? Because it still sounds, a lot of people tell me they wait because it's just too good to be true. So they try to wait around and see what happened. Or did you jump right in?
Honey, that's not even my life. I believe God, and I believe that God used my friend to find that newspaper, that article, that ad, and I jumped right in. I signed up for my counseling, and at that time, Deborah White, she was a mortgage counselor, and she was my first mortgage counselor, and I knew I wasn't ready. But the thing of it is, there was hope that was sparked in those two-day events because I remember a couple from Wyncote, Pennsylvania. That's in Montgomery County. I lived in Cheltenham at the time, so I knew Wyncote. They're basically the same area. And this couple had not paid their mortgage for like 3 or 4 years, and NACA was their last hope because they gave their story, this husband and wife. And that couple I still remember because that sparked hope in me, that I could buy a house again. If they could save their house after not paying their mortgage for 4 years, I could buy a house. So this was the program for me. And I met every 6 months to a year. They would run my credit score, tell me, my action plan. And every year up until December 2019, there was something for me to do, and I did it because I wanted my dream home.
Wow. And now tell me this, you went through the counseling program, and once you got qualified, were you ready to go house shopping? Tell me about once you realized you got qualified and you can go house shopping. How did that feel? What was that like?
Well, as Jerome said, everything even the kitchen sink. I got the kitchen sink thrown at me. I got the dump truck thrown at me. Everything came my way. I was originally qualified in September of 2020. As soon as everything started opening back up, I had my last counselor meeting with my MC at that time, Matt Griffin, in February. And I believed March was supposed to be the time that I would be qualified. However, everything shut down. So once everything opened back up, I was qualified in September of 2020. I found a house almost immediately, but there were issues with the house I did not understand. And the agent that I had at the time, she was part-time NACA. So there's something that I had encouraged people previously, like if you can get an in-home agent, get the in-home agent. This is the person with the experience. This is the person who can explain everything to you. The first agent I had, she's a sister from my church. And, we keep it in-house, so she was a sister at church. But I was her first member going through this program. So we were basically holding hands, skipping along together, ignorant of this process. So, that's how we started out. But she had a family emergency, and I met Jerome first in the middle of a contract. So I went through 4 contracts. And the 4th contract
that is amazing. Now, I want to clear something up because a lot of that, what you said triggered. You were working with an agent that was part-time. And we just had a show, Damien, remember we just talked about that. We had some people that were reaching out to us while we were broadcasting, asking us questions about, is it okay to work with a real estate agent that's your friend or somebody you know? And the one thing we talked about is being careful with doing that. We understand you're trying to help you're trying to help each other, but you really want an in-house agent or an agent that is very, very, very familiar with the NACA process. And you just proved it. You said you was working with, a church member that was, you consider that your family, and she or he wasn't full-time working as a real estate agent, and definitely wasn't NACA, because all the NACA agents are full-time and they are solely exclusive to our NACA members. They really are diehard fans of our NACA member, and they work for our NACA members. But the thing about it is, you're saying that in she had things that popped up that was of importance to her that she couldn't avoid. And because of that, now you're suffering. And that's what we really want to reach out to people so that they'll understand. It is your choice to have your own real estate agent, but it is always good to research that choice. Be very selective, because your agent is supposed to work for you. There's nobody they're going to work harder than. Demonstrated evidence that they're not. It's time to get a new agent. So sounds like you did. You ended up with Jerome. And how did Jerome, our in-house agent, how did he greet you?
Oh, my Lord. This is the first time he's hearing this from me, but he's like, at this point, a brother, because he treated me well from the door. However, I had an expectation. I wanted to say this. Going through NACA's program, it's totally different. Oh gosh, I'm on the Facebook page and I'll, answer questions and different things. But I see so many people, including me, have this idea, because I had previously owned a home all these years ago. There was a different process. I was still thinking about that process. NACA is a whole different animal. It's a whole different, it's a totally different process. So I gave Jerome, I believe, a run for his money the first couple months, because I harassed him. I called him all times of the night. But one thing, all times of the night, all times of the morning, I didn't care. When I call you, you answer my call. And at one point, oh gosh, I was so upset with him. I was so done with him. And he was like, do you want a new agent? Maybe that would be best. Maybe we're not a good fit for each other. And I was like, oh no, I'm not letting you go. I knew I had the best, but I just gave him a run for his money. But during this whole year process, he never disrespected me. He never, even though I don't think he should have. He never came out of character. He never changed his tone. He never raised his voice. He never did anything that I guess would have been expected, and he probably would have been backed up by Barry Marks or somebody else if something went that way. But he never during that time, and I had to apologize and thank him for being who he is. You know, he's gone through this process, this home buying process with me, explained everything each step of the way, sometimes 5 times, 6 times, 7 times, and he never lost his patience. He probably talked about me like a dog after we got off the phone, but he never showed me any kind of disrespect, and I had to, from that, take that and respect him. I had to watch how I spoke to him. You know, I see a lot of stuff, like I said, on Facebook, and it's like, you know, you have to, this becomes a, not only business, but it's family, and this person is in it to win it for you. And I got to the place, I came to that conclusion. Jerome and his team were on my side. They are not my enemy. You know, if he's not returning a call or answering the call, because that's what I expected him to answer my call, I had to remember there were so many other members like me who he's trying to service and give them 100% undivided attention. I had to let him do his job for everybody, you know. So I just, you know, it's a blessing to me, and I sing NACA's praises, I'm telling you, to anyone that I can. If I know that they're buying a house, I've talked to one person at my son's hospital, Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. We have conversations. I guess I shouldn't say, but we talk a lot out there. We talk a lot. There are people in my church. There are coworkers. I have a coworker in Harrisburg who's now a NACA member. During the Juneteenth, I had a table. My church participated in the Juneteenth celebration in our area, and I had a NACA table with my shirt, and it was, you know. I love it. Oh my gosh, yes. This is a program I believe in, and like Jerome said, there was so much adversity when I came to the table. I had already been through so much, but I didn't realize I was going to continue. I was in a car accident. I was hit by a car in 2015, had to relearn to walk. February of this year, had an ice accident, car total, God spared me and my children's lives. In the midst of looking at houses and driving, I can't say that either. So, but I continued. I just have this, I don't know, survivor, fighter spirit. I don't know what to call it because I just do it, you know. I don't feel any different. It's just Casey. That's just who I am.
All things work together for your good. But here's the part that you have to keep in mind. In order for things to work together, they have to be put together. So don't be thrown off when you find good and bad in one season, because it still can work together.
You budget, you pay bills.
Yet somehow women like you, like me,
are 80% more likely than men to live in poverty in retirement.
So here's what we're gonna do now. We're going to save ourselves by setting a goal to save 2% more of our income for our retirement.
Why 2?
1% honors you.
And 1% honors all womankind.
So come on, learn more about the 2% challenge at WeSaySaveIt.org.
As you can see, those oxtails browned up pretty good. Nice and tender.
Wow.
But I had something that was interesting too. You said, I thought I heard you say 4 contracts. Is that what I heard you say?
We got to break that down.
Yeah, because I want to understand that, because I was like, wait, 4?
Yeah, let's talk about that.
There's one thing.
4 contracts, but wasn't it about 50 houses that I've been in? I went in, I saw a gazillion houses. I'm not talking about on Realtor or Zillow. I'm talking about houses that I went to and went inside. Yeah, there were quite a few. Go ahead.
Definitely one thing I want to add. One thing I want to add to what she was saying is, before we touch about the 4 houses, is the relationship with the member and the agent, because everything changed when Casey bought in and trusted me. That's when everything changed. Until she actually let go and trusted, then everything has taken off from that moment. Everything, and that was halfway through the process. That was probably about December when we had the good heart to heart, and she understood that I was for her and not against her. And in our transactions, one of the transactions, oh man, and we can go over the transactions. The first one is she was dropped on my lap because her agent, had some other stuff he had to do, and it was great. I tried to get her through the transaction, but the transaction would not work. So that was house 1. Okay. And then I say this to everybody: every house that you missed out on, no matter what happens, and it's nearly 100%, because I can't think of anybody, you always end up with the right one. The house she's in now is making her forget about all those other ones.
He's preaching.
Wow.
So the first house we got out because of, I think it was inspections. Then, she started working with the team, and, we were getting her to see houses, and she started learning to trust the team as they came to me for different things. And that was one of the things she had to learn, because she was calling me directly, and I have a team that was helping her. So everything didn't have to come to me. I had the people in place to make it work. And that was part of the trust. So she was trusting the process. Once she started trusting the process, but we were under contract for the second time for a property when the seller side, we won't say no addresses, we won't say no names, but they were shiesty. It just was not the best transaction.
Horrible.
And
but I still have a smile. You see that? Smile.
She's still smiling.
We got out of that. And listen, look, we even went to court to get her deposit back, and I nearly got Casey. Then I almost get in contempt. The guy was like, Jerome, you're gonna have to let you go outside, because I was so passionate about it, because she was being done wrong, that I wanted. And that's when, around the time too, when she bought in and realized I got her, because the second transaction, and it's a blessing that it went south to get out of it.
Yeah.
Because of who we were dealing with and everything. So yeah, she was under contract 2 times, and that was kind of like inspections. Then you look at her car accident. She's under contract. What she didn't elaborate on yet is reduced work hours. You know how that affects your loan.
Oh wow.
Of course. Yeah.
So you're in a car accident, and now you're out of work for a little bit. Then you're back to work, but you're not back to work full time. So this is some of the adversity I was talking about. And we go under contract. We find a house, we go under contract. But that house,
this is the third house, right? This is the third house.
Third house. And that house was rough because of trying to account for her income now, because it's reduced. She's using her vacation time to help show 40 hours, everything. And ultimately kind of denied the loan and the house. Then we're working with the seller and trying to understand repairs and everything. We just ended up being out of that as well. So then you're looking at, how do we get in another one when we're nearly denied because of now we're going against the grain? Work hours, everything like that. We've been through repairs a few times. Then we get under contract again. And, shout out to Matthew Griffin. I know he put some work in it. I call him Matty Mortgage. Matty Mortgage, he went and got the deal done and packaged everything properly for the underwriters to understand how her income is the way it is and what she's been through. And ultimately, that last one was much easier. And then we brought it home.
So what I'm hearing out of this is that, you know, Casey worked with Matthew, which was her counselor. And because she did have some income barriers due to her car accident, and this is another question that came up on a previous show, you know, how much information do you give to your counselor? And the answer is all of it.
All of it.
All of
you
the
have to be honest. Yes, you have to be honest. I was out of work. My doctor, I was trying to work because I work from home. I was trying to work. I would work from home. I would get up on the computer and sit and almost fall out the chair. I didn't realize I had a head trauma and a concussion that it was a mess. But I was taken out of work for 2.5 months, brought back in when I told my doctor. I talked the doctor into allowing me to work because I was working from home. You know, I told her I would obey everything she said, and I did. And like Jerome said, I came back half the time, and then each time I'm trying to talk her into giving me more time because I knew I was dealing with underwriter issues. They started questioning my, they actually questioned my salary. And I'm like, no, this is not my salary. It was very tough, and the third contract is what brought me to tears. And it brought me to tears, and that was the first time. And I'm saying this because of things that I've read on Facebook that you can't give a comment to everything, and you can't say everything you want to say because it's just too much. But that was the first time, honestly, where from 2013 I said maybe NACA isn't for me. And what I did is I wrote a letter to Barry Marks, and in that letter, I guess all of my feelings came out, and I actually did a David encouraging himself in the Lord. Casey encouraged herself in the next. In writing that letter to Barry Marks and saying exactly how I felt, saying how much I believed in this program and in this process, and I felt like the process was failing me. But I believed in the program that I actually talked myself into.
Wow.
Continuing with NACA, I've come too far to turn back. That's what I sat at the desk and said, Casey, you've come too far to turn back. And with my house, this house I rented about 4 years ago. So this is a house I'm familiar with. This is a house that I loved when I rented it, and it's a house that when I talked to my then landlord about, I said I'm going to be buying a house in a couple of years. I work with this program, and he told me he would never sell this house.
Wow.
He said he would never sell it, but it's mine, all mine. So
my goodness.
She bought her house off her landlord.
Give her some hearts, Facebook. Give her some hearts. The landlord said he would never sell the house. She wanted the house. She wanted to buy the home that she was renting, and it wasn't designed that way. Her plan wasn't designed that way. And you writing a complaint letter, sounds like, to our CEO, Bruce Marks. And in that complaint letter, you was pouring your heart out until you talked yourself back into being relentless and not giving up. You decided in the letter, I'm not going to stop. It's mine.
Yes.
Miss
so
Casey,
I want to
encourage
people, don't write a letter to Barry. You have to trust this process. Do all that is being asked of you. I can't tell you how many letters of explanation I wrote. Oh my gosh. I wrote 2. I can't even count it, I'm telling you. But the wonderful thing I could say about Matt, at the beginning when when it was required of me to write the letters of explanation, he would provide me kind of like with a template. This is, and I had to write up my letter and provide the documentation, information. But again, I had a counselor who helped me, who told me what I needed to do, and he didn't pull punches. Jerome didn't pull punches, when I didn't understand, I qualified for X amount of dollars. Why can't I get a house for that amount? And he had to explain over and over, no, you have to look at the real estate taxes, you have to look at this, that, and the other. And as he said, once I began to trust him and let him do his thing, because he's the man, he really is. Once I stepped out of the way and let him do his thing, do what Jerome does best. Everything began to work out. And even when things were falling, when the market changed, because understand, I was in this process before the market changed. I saw it January. I'm like, what's going on? And I'm asking Jerome, what's going on? These houses are, what's going on? And he's like, I don't know. I've heard in this state or that state about such and such. But we saw that wave coming, and we rode that wave, got on our surfboards, and we rode that wave. I never gave up. I just couldn't, because I this is what I wanted. This was my dream, So, and NACA, true to its word. It's a process, and what it is a paradigm shift. It's a shift in thinking. It's not about, I have to buy me a house, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that, and I'm going to have stainless steel this, and chrome that, and, it's not about that. It's about, first and foremost, understanding that NACA wants us to have a home, keep our home, build a legacy for our children. I have my children are now all adults. They range from 19 to 27. When I started with NACA, they were, I believe, how old was Timothy? Timothy, I believe, was like 8 or 9 or something like that, 6 years. 13. So my youngest was 13 at the time. He's 19 now. But just the whole point of going through this process and having something for my children. They watched me go through this program. The 27 and 25-year-old, I told the 27-year-old, you're next. You're going to get your house through NACA.
That's right. I
love it. Legacy.
This is how it's having that, what is it called? The generational wealth. This is how we get that, by having a property, buying our home, and keeping our home, being able to pay our mortgage every month and pay extra towards that principal, because that's my plan. That's what I'm going to be doing, paying extra towards that principal to pay it off earlier, and to show my children, and get them to go through this process, but they don't have the debt that I have, so it shouldn't be as hard for them or, as challenging for them.
We see that you founded something, an organization called Black Girls in Cyber.
So I started these Facebook Live series called Black Girls in Cyber, and I would invite different African-American women who were working in different aspects of the field to come and share their stories, very similar to as I'm doing now, and what their journey was, and to just really create more industry awareness around what this looks like.
Severe weather can strike anytime, anywhere, but there's a simple way to stay safe. Hey, Jim Cantore here. I stay safe in dangerous weather by planning ahead. You can stay safe too with a few easy steps. Build an inexpensive kit with supplies for your family's needs. Write down important information like phone numbers and medications. Always talk with your family, and remember any pets in your planning. Be ready, be safe. Start your plan today at ready.gov/plan.
I love everybody, all the co-hosts. Like, fiction is my favorite. Like, I'm excited for it. I went on Amazon. You have great reviews for this book. I mean, I was like, I gotta get this book. It sounds juicy and everything. So can you just touch a little bit more on this series?
So what I did was it's Christian fiction, but I call it Christian reality, because I pulled some things from my own personal experiences, some things I'd observed and seen. And the great thing about fiction is you can do whatever you want to with it.
And it won't be because they have you. And that's what happens when it's true generational wealth. We teach those, we learn from what we see. We've demonstrated it. It's in the circle now. You've broken a generational curse of renting. And now you, your children's and your children's children will only know about ownership. Yes. I have so many questions. Damien, I'm getting goosebumps over here. I have so many questions.
And that Jerome is the man over there.
He is, and I'm about to get him next. But for those of you who are on Facebook and our social media platforms who are tuning in to this live, this is the NACA American Dream Program. We are here with Miss Casey Hayes, who has realized her dream of home ownership, and she is telling us about her process. And if anyone can tell a process and talk about every obstacle and challenges and limitations that has come before us, I have just literally learned so much that a member can go through. One member, I've heard about 30 different challenges between 10 or 15 members. Miss Casey has gone through 30 different challenges, and she's just one member in her one setting, but she has realized her dream. She's explaining to us how important that relationship is with her counselor, how equally important that relationship was with her in-house agent, and the importance of having an agent that knows the program. And Jerome, her agent, is here today, and she said she had to trust him. It took some time to develop that trust and be able to kind of let her drop her guard with him. And guess what? She's here now and wouldn't come to the show without him. So she's here. He is now considered family, so Jerome, how does that feel? Tell us about it.
Yes. I was thinking that, when you work with a member and you're going through this journey, it's like a relationship. You have to know how someone's going to react, and you either have to know you're going to be patient with someone and explain stuff more times, or just how they react. And it's a feeling out process. And that's why I was saying to her, I don't know if it was going to work, because she didn't trust. Until you trust, if you can't trust me and let me guide you, I'm your agent and advocate through this process. And when you let go and allow us to do what we do, that's when everything takes off. So, and I was saying to myself, I'm like, wow, I remember the time when everything was just rough. Now we're better than ever because the trust is there, the communication's there, everything. And especially through the hardest times when we were being told no and declined. And what about our offers that weren't accepted? I mean, through the process, we've had offers not accepted. And then the other also trust for Casey to put up more money against the appraised value and different things. We had to just kind of get her in this competitive market to be competitive with other offers. And gradually she started letting go and following, and then, we're getting closer to where we need to be. I'm just happy that the house that she got wasn't any problems with repairs, and it ended up being a great process. So, I mean, the relationship with the member is so important. And, and myself, look, I closed over 200 NACA deals, but the ones that I remember are the ones that I lost. The people that along the way, when the relationship to help them reach home ownership, where it was disconnected, and their learning experiences. And that's what's made me better along the way, because there's a lesson in every client that you lose. And what can you do better and to be constructive to make me what I am today? Because I don't lose too many now.
That's right. I love it.
But that's
I wouldn't let him go. I wouldn't.
She ain't letting you go. She ain't letting you. You're part of the generation now. So I don't know if there's any little Jerome's coming up, but they're gonna have to come up with the family, with the Miss Casey's family as well.
This Motivation Monday is awesome, Jerome.
It is.
But one of the things that I do want to talk about is your home. What does it look like? You've lived there before. Tell us about your home. You cul-de-sac, 4-bedroom. I'm just excited. She's
getting all excited, Debbie. For those of you who can't see her, she's doing a jig right now. I'm from the South, y'all. She's doing she's dancing a jig. She is excited to tell us about her beautiful home. Tell us about your palace.
Oh my Lord, I rented this home, and now that it's mine, I'm learning its history, which is crazy. Lighting. First of all, this house was built in 1910. And I don't know if it was a barn. I don't know if it was a storage, like a grain holding. I don't know what it was because it's so different. The shape, the configuration of the rooms is so different. But it's, oh gosh. I have an enclosed porch, which I would consider to be a four-season room. It's glass enclosed, but there's heat inside. The living room is the shape of an L, which I'm planning to section off into two different sections. The dining room is just beautiful. I have a galley kitchen. Some of my friends, and I think Jerome too, I'm not sure if he said, but some people consider it to be small, but it's not. It's a galley kitchen, so I have counter space and cabinets on both sides. I love to cook. I love to bake. So it's great I just turn to the left or to the right to do what I need to do. And I think I have more counter space and cabinets than a larger kitchen, a larger spaced kitchen. Oh my Lord, 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, full, which at the beginning I gave Jerome a hard time with at the beginning in 2020, early 2021. I must have 2 bathrooms at least. I will not take one bathroom. However, with my home, what I found is as I'm looking, I have lighting that's being put in. I have a contractor friend who's putting in recessed lighting, building in a fireplace because I required a fireplace, so I get to do that myself. The recessed lighting, that's done. He did the frame for the fireplace on Saturday, so I'm just waiting for it to come in, the electric fireplace. So I won't have the lighting issue anymore. There's a 1/4 acre backyard, driveway that fits 4 cars. The 3rd bedroom I'm going to use as my office. It's a smaller bedroom, but it has a walk-up attic that my project for 2022, I will be 55 in 2022. That will be my birthday gift to myself. I'm going to finish my attic, and that will be my queen's lair.
Oh, your queen's lair. I love
Oh, I have plans. So, with that being said, this house is beautiful already, but let your creative juices flow. Be open. Sometimes your agent is going to suggest certain styles to you based on pricing, because they're looking out for you. They're looking out for your best interest. We still have to be able to manage our mortgage, manage our utilities, manage. And so they're looking out for us. And so with that being said, just with this house, because I was in such a sad, dejected state when the house came into my filter, because this house, the seller lowered the price twice. And the second price reduction caused it to meet my requirements, my financial requirements. And I wasn't looking in Realtor.com, I wasn't looking at any house. I just needed to take a break. And something said, I know it was the Lord, but said, click that thing. And I was like, okay. And I clicked the email from Realtor.com, and I saw this little house. I was like, oh, that little cute house. Let me just open the picture. And when I clicked the picture and it opened, I just busted out laughing because this was a house that I knew. So every other house that I did not know, I had already had a relationship with this house. I already knew this house. This house knew me. And I believe this is what the Lord had for me all along. But I had to go through some things to change my thinking, to learn how to trust people. I'm a single mom, going through a bad marriage, bad divorce, you have your guard up all the time. And even though it's been a while, some years now, I still have my guard up. I'm used to dealing with me. So not really having to deal with other people. So here's Jerome, here's Matt, here's Miss Deb, and I have to trust them. I have to trust what they're saying. And it was difficult, but I did. I would say my little thing, but I did what they said. And once I just gave in and just agreed and walked this thing out, things just happened. I told Jerome, the Bible talks about the story of a woman in travail when she's going through that labor, the pains, oh gosh, the pain. But when the baby is born, she forgets the pain and enjoys that child. And that's the one thing I can say. I know I went through some stuff. I know I went through pain. I know I went through stuff, but I don't remember it. I'm telling you the truth. I don't remember the pain. I know I had it. I can tell you, yeah, it brought tears, but these tears are joy tears, happy tears, other side tears. And I'm just so grateful to God. I'm grateful to God for all of you, for what you do on your radio show, on the Facebook pages, on the workshops, everything. The workshop, let me tell you, I attended maybe 4 workshops of each because I knew somebody was in that workshop that might be going through what I was going through or dealing with. And I'm telling you, with each contract, you're required to do the rehab, escrow workshop, those different workshops. I didn't just go to one. I would do them every week, and I learned something every time I attended a workshop. So it's in, NACA cousins, it's in your best interest. It's always in our best interest to learn as much as we possibly can. I changed my relationship with money. My income, and it's funny being going through underwriting where they're telling me, your income changed. I was getting raises, and this is how I was getting raises and didn't realize I was getting raises. I'm just working. So it just behooves you to change your mindset, not just look at, I'm going to have my house, I'm going to have the garage, I'm going to do this, that, and the other, but change the relationship with money, change the relationship even with how you think. When I said I'm putting in recessed lighting and things, when I thought about that, it's cheaper than the lamps. It's cheaper, the fireplace. It's cheaper than buying electric heaters and the electric bill every month. This teaches you wisdom. I don't know, this program and process teaches you wisdom. So I can say for me, that's where I've come. That's the place I've arrived at, where even before I spend money, I step back and I think about it. What's a better way? How can I save better? Because I'm still in that process of payment shock. Put money away every month. Keep putting away money every month. I'll still be able to, like I said, pay extra towards my principal, right, but I still have the responsibility of payment shock, of putting money aside every month. So, yeah, that's... So
your lifestyle has changed.
A whole paradigm shift in my... Just like my scarf changed, my changed.
Oh my goodness, you have tears coming out of my eyes. I'm serious. I mean, I'm actually teary-eyed. Just your testimony is truly a testimony. That's what it's about. My heart is just, you touched my heart with it. It changed your life. And guys, this is really life-changing. It is. And I'm just so proud of you. I'm happy for you, but I want you to know something. In hearing the age of the house, there's so many people out there that when they get qualified, they go shopping for the biggest and baddest and the best of the best and all of this. And what you did, you went back and saw something. You saw the beauty and the wealth and the economic value, and just, into the home that you found. And I heard you say 1910. Well, I got a newsflash for you. In different areas, depending on where that area is, and in 1910, looking back on our history, I want you to just do something during this holiday season. Double check with your county or your city's historic society or cultural affairs, and just give them your address and let them know you want to take a look at your address to see if there's any historic value in your city, in your city for that address. You would be surprised. And if it is, I want you to call me, because guess what?
Some more. That's true.
Guess what? When your home sits on a historical in historical grounding, you now get all kinds of little nuggets. You are actually put on alert for tours and visitations, not coming inside your home, but being set as one of the tourist sites and things like that. So they'll give you additional funds, county funds and city funds to keep up your property on the outside, because they want that curb appeal to stay historic. They want to keep that enriched history, and they don't want to lose that. So guess what? One thing I have learned about being a homeowner is that the projects continue. There's always something to do, but think about the outside, because if you qualify for that, and I want you to check and see, I really want you to do that, because a lot of people are living on historical lodgings and don't even know how historic it really is. And they'll come and literally give you funds to beautify the outside of your property, or even have the work done for you. So the blessings keep on going.
Now, one thing we have yet to talk about before we get off of here.
Let's talk about
your mortgage amount.
I knew it.
Your mortgage payment. Your interest, that's one of the biggest testimonies that people don't understand. And then once you give your mortgage amount, your interest rate, your monthly payment, and if you'll share what your rent was before moving in here. That's always beneficial to let others know, hey, it's cheaper to buy.
Okay, well, generally I had paid upwards of $1,550 a month for rent. Over the past year, partially due to COVID, mostly due to COVID, I had moved around a little bit, and so I was paying sometimes like up to $1,900 a month, and for rent. Yeah, God is good. I was able to do it, so it wasn't it's fine.
Amen.
And so once with this house, originally the seller had listed it for $349,000. He brought it down to $329,000, and then he brought it down to $299,000, and that's when it hit my filter. And but the final cost was $308,000. Should I tell because I don't want to my mortgage payment is like $2,000 a month. So it's still within my range that I pay. That's the one thing about NACA also is I'm able to, if I had gone somewhere else, I wouldn't have been qualified for this amount. So I wouldn't have this house. I would have a lesser house, if you will. But NACA allows me to buy more house. I was able to buy my interest rate down to 1.25%. And like I said,
what's that interest rate again? I want to say it for the people in the back. What's that interest rate?
1.25%.
1.25. Wow.
Yes.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah. There's one.
Are you on a 30-year or 15-year?
Oh, it's a 30-year.
It's a 30-year. My
plan is to pay the house off with it before 7 or 8 years. That's my plan.
I ain't mad. You can do it.
I love it.
I believe.
Yeah, there's one thing to add to that. I'm almost certain, Casey, I don't have your file in front of me, but I think, your payment should be, much less. So I know you guys still make your first mortgage payment, so you might not know exactly what it is yet, but it's going
I haven't gotten that yet.
It's going to be way lower, because I know your approval amount was, lower than that. So here's one thing that y'all don't know. This deal died. This deal died.
What?
This deal died. It died.
That's right.
And
notice I don't talk about the death part. I just speak life.
She already said she don't remember the pain.
She don't remember.
It's gone.
This transaction, this is the fortunate part about it. In packaging everything, we needed to get that interest rate lower to meet her affordability, and exhausting all her assets, everything like that, and we still needed more. So here's where the extra bonus happened. Her home is in an amazing area, just outside of Philadelphia, and her house appraised for $15,000 above what we were under contract for. So everybody thought the deal was dead, but I went back to the seller. So we need $8,000 for a buy down to make it a yes, because right now it's a no. Change the sale price, and then the deal was done, and we were able to get that low interest rate. So all the adversity and still one last hurdle to overcome.
Right. And then on top of that, no moving costs. You had zero for moving. I loved it. You know, sometimes those movers can cost, you know, sometimes the hardest part of getting into your house is getting into the house, the moving part, getting everything. You're packing up your life and moving it into a new home. And you overcame that as well. Little did you know, you've overcame that hurdle for sure. But I love this story.
My belongings were in storage, so my children and we moved over 4 days. We during the Thanksgiving week, we moved from Tuesday to Friday. So I got a U-Haul truck. I was not going to use the movers because when I did it before, they tore up my sofas. So they tore up my furniture, broke up my furniture, so I wasn't going to do that. And I had, you know, my kids are young and strong. So we moved over a 4-day period, and I kept the U-Haul truck. I cooked dinner, Thanksgiving dinner. We had turkey, lamb, roast beef, the collard greens, cabbage, green beans, homemade collard.
When the next time you cooking, I'm gonna make my way on up there.
We missed that, Jerome. We missed the housewarming. That was it.
Oh my God! When are you cooking again? Let me know in advance so I can make a trip on up there.
Really?
Christmas breakfast. Because Christmas, you must wear pajamas. You must come in your pajamas, so Christmas breakfast. But I made a big dinner. We packed all the food in some of the storage bins that I had bought, you know, to pack in. We loaded the food up in the U-Haul truck and came here. I borrowed some chairs and tables from my church. We decorated, set up the tables, and me and my children, we just had a wonderful Thanksgiving, you know, just thanking God for his greatness and his goodness towards us. And so that's the one thing, and my pastor had to talk me into having Thanksgiving at the house because I wasn't going to do it. But I was so glad that and I'm talking to you from that beautiful table. It's still set really nice with a beautiful tablecloth. But that's what we did for Thanksgiving.
I love it.
And it was truly a Thanksgiving because you just moved in your house. Amen.
I love Thanksgiving. I do. I love it. Give her some hearts out there, Facebook family. Give her some hearts out there. And you know what, Ms. Hayes? I'd love to have you. We're doing a Home for the Holidays segment just internally. I want to invite you to it. So stay after the show and I'll talk to you a little bit about that as well. So I love this. Damien, Jerome. This is beautiful. You had me, I mean, I was in tears because it was just, this is amazing. You talk about transformational, just dealing with some things internal and just speaking from a woman's perspective. I understand the things that she's saying she went through because we do go through that. She's breadwinner. She's the mediator. She's the coach. She's the confidant. She's the constant in that house and she has to keep it going. And all the adversity that came to her and you've overcome it. You are truly the queen. So wear your crown, wear it proudly because you've earned it. You've earned it. You have truly earned it. And now you got generational wealth that you're spreading to your children, all made due to you utilizing and accessing the program that NACA has laid out for you. And that's what happens when you manifest and really truly access this program to its fullest potential. And this is how it looks. This is how it sounds. And I just love it. You look like success to me. And I'm just glad to be here to share it with you.
Talk about it, yes.
And this is, just remember out there, whatever you're going through, be honest, open, and let your counselors and real estate agents know because we can't help you if we don't know the situation. Do not give up. As you see with Miss Casey, keep persevering. Do not stop. She had 4 contracts and she still made it through. So don't give up. You have awesome people like Jerome that are carrying her through, her mortgage counselor. Don't give up. Whatever you're going through, let us know because we can't help you people that we don't know.
Even when the income shifted, she was truthful enough to say, hey, wait a minute. I have a reduction in income due to a car accident. And guess what? her counselor was there for her, and Jerome was right there as well. They let her know, here's the best thing we can do, and she still ended up in our house. So don't stop, keep going. Damien, again, the time has gotten away from us, but guess what? We will be back here, same time, same place next Monday with more amazing stories. And you can always find us at www.naca.com. And you can like us, love us, do whatever you want to do with us, all on our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And you can also see these segments on YouTube as well. We are everywhere you want us to be, and even where you don't want us to be, we are there. And don't forget, always reach out to us and look at what's happening on the website, because we are hiring. We have the Rich program. For those of you who already have a mortgage, we have the Home Safe program. Everything is right here. It's one-stop shopping at its best. That's it, y'all. Damien?
Thank you. And again, we just had a job fair last week. We have them often, so please get those resumes, those applications filled in, so you can do the work that we do to help somebody else. Have a good one. Mask up, be safe. Thank you.
Shout out to all in-house agents all across the NACA land. Thank you, Jerome. Own your home with Jerome. Mask up, be safe.